Well, hey there, guys. Welcome to a brand new video right here on the YouTube channel, and this is my spoilers review for Fantastic Four. Now, I still plan on doing a podcast version of this. Michael and I, there's a lot of miscommunication going on, so we haven't been able to properly schedule time to record our discussion, but that will happen hopefully sometime by the end of this week. I gotta talk to Michael about that, but hopefully by the end of this week we'll get you guys the spoilers discussion for Fantastic Four. I've been having problems with my internet as far as like getting StreamYard to work on my computer here. So that's why it's kind of taking a while to get even an episode of the Zeke Said So show out, because just I'm having issues with internet and my computer, and just been a challenge. But I wanted to do a spoilers review. That way, just in case I didn't get a spoilers discussion up, that way I can get a spoilers review for Fantastic Four up for you guys. Okay, so Fantastic Four. This was directed by Matt Shakman and stars Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, and Eben Moss-Bachrach. It's the next film of the MCU, of first appearance of the Fantastic Four in the MCU, and I gotta say, I really love this movie. If you guys went on my Instagram, you guys go to my Zeke Said So Instagram, you guys will know how much I love this movie. On my Instagram, I said that Fantastic Four First Steps is a fun, emotional film that has all the action, comedy, and heart of a good MCU movie. While it's not perfect, I am happy to say we finally got a great Fantastic Four movie. And it's true. Now, the bar was set low. The bar was set a little low, but we did get ourselves a really good Fantastic Four movie with Fantastic Four First Steps. I really loved just the visual style of this movie. I think visually this is Marvel's best looking movie since Eternals, I think. Not that their other films haven't been visually pleasing. I mean, they have. Like, Wakanda Forever was visually beautiful. Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn does a really good job of shooting Guardians of the Galaxy, and especially like the use of color in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was really cool. But I think from a combination of cinematography, editing, and color and use of color, I thought Fantastic Four First Steps was just the best since Eternals, I think. I thought the way they were able to introduce these characters in a brand new and fresh way. We get the origin story, but it again is told through this fun montage. We don't need a hour worth of an origin story, and I'm glad we didn't get that with this movie. I'm glad we just got, okay, look, this is the Fantastic Four. 4 years ago, or 4 years ago, or 1 year ago, I can't remember specifically. I've only seen the movie twice, and it's been a few days since I've seen the movie again. Probably go see it again this upcoming weekend. But it's like 4 years ago, we had these four brave astronauts went up into space and came back forever changed, and they go through that, and then we see they defeated the Red Ghost and his army of smart monkeys. They defeated Mole Man, And by the way, Mole Man I thought was the best part of this entire movie. Paul Walter Hauser as Mole Man, I thought was spectacular. Just his delivery on certain things is just so great. I love the line later on in the film when everyone's going into Subterranea. He's like, please don't forget to wipe your shoes before you walk in. I'm kidding. It's the ground is dirt. Um, I love that. I thought it was fantastic. Um, and I like the fact that we just got this nice setup of who the Fantastic Four are, how long they've been around, and that they are the only heroes of their universe. This is a universe that is very reminiscent to Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man universe, where there are no Avengers, there is no Captain America or Iron Man, or there isn't there isn't a lot of other Marvel heroes. They are the sole center superheroes of their universe, and I like that. I think it keeps things fresh. And I'm not gonna lie, as much as I pretty much know that the Fantastic Four are basically gonna get brought into the 616 timeline by the time we get to Secret Wars, that will happen. I almost kind of would love to just see them stay in this universe and get more movies that feel this standalone. That was one of my favorite parts about this movie, is that this movie felt standalone. You didn't need to watch other MCU movies in order to enjoy it. Thunderbolts, as much as I love it, and I still think Thunderbolts is a better movie than Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts requires a lot of previewing before you go see it. You gotta watch Black Widow. You gotta watch Black Widow. You gotta watch Falcon and Winter Soldier. You have to watch Ant-Man and the Wasp. You have to watch Black Widow, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and because Bucky shows up in all the other MCU movies prior to Black Widow, so and also and you also got to watch Wakanda Forever in order to understand where Valentina and who she is and what is her kind of agenda here, and I understand. And as much as I love it, look, I love the fact that I loved Thunderbolts. I think it's a better movie than Fantastic Four, but it does require a lot of previewing. And I like the fact that this movie is so standalone that any average moviegoer can go in this movie having not seen a single MCU movie and just enjoy this movie for what it is. Yes, there is a major setup for a future movie, and you'll get that, when we get to that part of the review. We'll get to that part. But I like the fact that this felt just a little bit more standalone. Also, what I really liked about this movie was I loved the banter and the dynamic between Reed, Sue, Johnny, and Ben. I thought that was a great element, and for anybody who has ever lived in a family with a lot of people in it, it's almost kind of relatable in a way, because there's just that fun little banter back and forth you have with either your parents or your siblings or anything like that. And they had that. Like, Ben and Johnny are basically like brothers, essentially. They're like they're like the two brothers who are bickering all the time, and that's fun. Herbie is like the little the dog. He's a robot, but he's kind of like the dog. He's the family pet, basically, and I like that. I think that's also really fun. And they're introducing a new member to the family. Sue's pregnant at the beginning of this film, and I loved that. And one of my favorite parts about this movie is when they're like, "You're late." What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What I mean? You're late for dinner. Yes, we are. And they're sitting down. They're about to, and then Ben's just looking at Sue, just, huh. And then he looks really hard at Sue, and he goes, "Are you pregnant?" And she says yes, and he's like, "How did you know?" He's like, have you seen the look on your husband's face?" And it's just, and then he goes to Reed, and he says, "Oh, what does he say?" He says, "Was your freaking out in the corner?" And he goes, "That's a little. I have that scheduled for later." That's fun. All of this stuff was fun, and the banter and the chemistry between these guys is just so much fun. And I really enjoyed seeing seeing that, and it's, again, don't get me wrong. I mean, the Tim Story Fantastic Four movie, that 2005 film, I have a nostalgic connection to it. That movie came out right when I was the perfect age for that. I think that movie came out when I was 6 years old. That movie, I was the perfect age for that movie. Okay, so I vividly remember going to see it and just having a ball with it. Same with Rise of the Silver Surfer. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I now realize that Rise of the Silver Surfer is a terrible movie, and I do think it's a terrible movie. But I still have fond memories of going to see it and loving it as a kid. That was my Fantastic Four. And yeah, if you guys have been around since the beginning of my YouTube channel, you know that my very first review on this channel was actually Fanforstic. That was my very first review that I've ever had on this YouTube channel, and so obviously I feel connected with the Fantastic Four in this very interesting way. To where I really enjoyed, and so I've read the comics and all that stuff, so I know these characters so well, and that they truly did bring that family dynamic into it. Everyone has always said that The Incredibles is the best Fantastic Four movie because it nails that family. It nails that family aspect that is so prevalent in Fantastic Four, and this movie nailed it. This movie nailed that exact same thing. We got that family dynamic, and I loved that aspect of it. And then the Silver Surfer. I mean, look, would I have personally chosen the female Shia LaBeouf to be the Silver Surfer of their universe? No, I mean, probably not. But I loved the fact that I loved the way they used her. I loved the fact of how they used her, and also that she is there to essentially push Johnny's arc. And a lot of people are complaining that, but Johnny's nothing like he is in the comic books. What are you talking about? That is Johnny from the comic books. Yeah, they left out some of the womanizing aspects of him. Yes. But it's still very clear. He says it in the film that he loves women, and he's constantly flirting with the Silver Surfer hundreds of times throughout this movie. But I like that they gave him an arc where him and the Silver Surfer are kind of on correlating journeys a little bit. He's learning more about her, and he's studying her language and understanding what is being said, what's being translated, and she's she connects with him in some interesting way. You feel that there is a connection between the two of them, to the point where when it's all said and done, Johnny is the one that confronts her at the end, in the end of this Act 2, and is like, okay, these are all planets that you destroyed. Spare my world. And he's like, it's not my, I can't do anything about it. Give up the child, and your planet will be spared. He's like, let me take his place. It's not your sacrifice to make. And you can tell that it pains her to do that. And again, it's just so great. Like, utilizing something. And again, look, I am okay with gender swaps in comic book movies or video games or video game movies or anything like that, as long as it serves your story. It has to serve your story. It can't serve the character. It has to serve the story. And I thought the way that they used Shia LaBeouf as, bringing in the female Silver Surfer, I thought was brilliant how they did it. I thought it was brilliant how they did it. Now, I will say this. This is kind of where my issues start to lie, is that I do feel like they could have delved into some of this stuff a little bit more. Like, I would have loved to have seen more of Shia LaBeouf's backstory. And that, I think that would have benefited had they maybe given at least, I don't know, 15 extra minutes worth of runtime. Because the movie's runtime is an hour and 55 minutes with credits. You know, it's not a very long movie. And the reality is, I feel like the movie suffers because it's not. I don't feel like it's long enough to sustain the amount of information that I feel like needed to be shared. I think there could have been a lot more room for visual storytelling had you just expanded the long time, maybe by like 15 to 20 minutes. Maybe by 15 to 20 minutes you could have expanded that runtime a little bit, and I think it would have worked out a lot better. But I love that. And then I love the scene where they meet Galactus, and Galactus stands there and he's like, and he wants their child. He wants Sue and Reed's child, because this child's got big powers, and he believes that this child is going to take his place. Is going to take Galactus' spot, and I loved that aspect too. I loved, and yeah, look, on paper, does that sound kind of weird and stupid? Probably, but the way it's handled and the way it's executed is just so great, and it makes Galactus scary. Like, Galactus is terrifying in this movie. Now, look, I'm not gonna lie. Galactus is a really great, like, final boss kind of villain. He's a great final boss type of villain, but he's also kind of ridiculous. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I will say this. He's not one of my favorite Marvel. He's not my favorite Marvel villain. In the lineup of Marvel villains, he's definitely not one of my favorites. Because I do think he is a little silly and he is a little ridiculous. I am Galactus, eater of worlds. He's kind of ridiculous and silly. But I thought the way they handled him in this, he's scary. They made him terrifying. And I like the fact that they actually went that route. And they didn't just go, oh, let's just do it exactly like the comic books. Because everyone wants it exactly like the comic books. Because, God forbid, Flash didn't do exactly like the comic books. All of a sudden, it's a bad movie. Anyway, sorry. Didn't mean to get in that whole rant. But it just proves that you don't have to make everything like the comic books. And Galactus, while, yes, they kept true to who his character was in the comics, they somehow managed to take the whole, I am Galactus, eater of worlds, mwahaha. They somehow managed to take that and make it terrifying and scary. And I like that. I think it adds more when your villain is actually terrifying and actually feels threatening. So I love that. And I really did enjoy the action scene where they're going through the wormhole and then almost ending up going through the black hole. I thought that was really good. It's just funny that both Superman and Fantastic Four both have action sequences in the second act that both have something to do with a black hole. I just thought that was really interesting. And I have to say, any time that this movie slowed down, any time that this movie was focusing on the characters, it was my favorite part of the movie. Like, yeah, the superhero stuff is fun, but my favorite part of this movie was any time we focused on Reed and Sue, Ben and Johnny, Reed and Ben, Sue and Johnny, Johnny and Reed, Sue and Ben. Like any time that the movie was focused on the humanity of these characters, that's when I felt like the movie really shined. I liked, and again, I think this would have really benefited from a longer runtime. I would have liked to see more of what they did, of what they could have done with Ben and Natasha Lyonne's character. You know, I thought that was a promising relationship, and I feel like, again, if you would have expanded that runtime, I feel like we could have gotten a little bit more of that, and it would have, again, been more. We would have gotten more humanity from it also, because again, anytime that this movie was focused, I think that's why the second act of the movie is my favorite act of the film, because we got way more scenes of them focusing on who these people are as humans, and that speech that Sue gives to the whole town, saying, "Look, I love my child. I will not sacrifice my child for this world. But I will not let this world die for my child. I will not sacrifice this world for my child." And I love that. I thought that was so good. I thought that was so great. Because she looks at everybody, not just her family, not just Reed, Johnny, and Ben, but she looks at the entire world as her family. And I love that. I love that. That's such a deep, important theme of this film, and I thought it was so beautifully told. Again, it would have benefited from a longer runtime had they focused on that a little bit more, because I don't really believe that the movie did. It didn't 100% focus on that. But and I love and I really loved seeing how they were able. They came up with this plan to basically move the Earth from one place, from where they are now to another location, right? Which again brings, somebody needs to bring in the SpongeBob meme. We should take the Bikini Bottom and push it somewhere else. That's basically what Reed Richards was wanting to do. He wanted to take the Earth and put it somewhere else. Although, unlike SpongeBob, not everyone from the Earth goes, push, push. Sorry, I had to. I'm sorry, but I really did like that. I loved seeing them come up with this plan, and all of a sudden the Silver Surfer comes in and destroys all of the machines, and now they're screwed. Now it's like, oh, now what do we do? And he said, we got to bring Galactus here. We got to bring him here. We got to put him through the portal. We got to put him through that. And when Sue finds out what they got to do, they're going to use Franklin as bait. And her like, Sue, you have to. Sue, I wouldn't do this. I know. And then she just turns invisible. This is cinema. This is cinema right here. And again, I hate to reinforce. I hate to beat it over the head, but a longer runtime, more focus on this would have really helped. And because this was some of my favorite part of the movie. All of this right here, like all of all of this stuff with Sue, like I know what you I know who you are, Reed, and who you are scares me. All this stuff, it's all human. And I loved that they focusing on the humanity of these situations. And again, a longer runtime, I feel like we would have gotten more of that. But I also really enjoyed my one of my other favorite aspects of this movie is that third act fight. Like obviously for me, the best part about this movie is anytime the characters are just in a room communicating and talking with each other. That's my favorite part of the whole movie. And just seeing these people be people, you know? That's some of my favorite part of the whole movie. The superhero stuff is fun. And the third act, I think, is really fun. You know? Seeing Galactus walk through this town, and again with the whole thing of what time has it been? I'm not saying it, you know, and just him refusing to say it's clobbering time. And that final moment is so cool. Now, I will say this. Do I still think they should have shown that in the trailer? No. I don't think they should have shown it in the trailer. I think they should have saved that for... I think it would have been smart for you to go, hey, what time is it? And he goes, that's not really something I say. When the guy yells at him, hey, what time is it? He's like, that's not something I say. He goes, it's clobbering time. That's just in the cartoon, sir. You know, had they just shown that, I would have been like, okay, that's enough. But then they kept showing like Johnny and Ben before they go to dinner. Hey, what time is it? It's dinner time. And then they showed it again. Hey, Ben, what time is it? I don't want to say it. And then they showed that moment in the trailer, which again, I wish they hadn't shown this in the trailer, where he's like, what time is it, Ben? I don't want to say it. Say it. Say it. And then he says it. You know, he says it. He didn't say it in the trailer, by the way. But he did say it in the movie. He goes, it's clobbering time. Yes! Eben Moss Backrack finally said it's clobbering time. By the way, he was great as Ben. I mean, look, they were all great. Vanessa Kirby was great. I did not love Pedro Pascal as a choice to play Reed Richards, but he was great as Reed Richards. He perfectly nailed just how smart Reed Richards is, while also being kind of blinded by arrogance a little bit. He's also like calculations and scientific methods and all this stuff. That's all he thinks about. He doesn't know how to just think like a regular human being. And I like the fact that I like the fact that he goes, look, I can't help but think about negative possibilities. I can't help it. I need to come up with negative possibilities in my head because it helps me think of a solution. And I loved that. And again, that's so perfect. That's so true to the character of Reed Richards, and it's so great. But they initially trap Galactus, but then Galactus goes and gets Franklin Richards. Now, I will say this, another issue I have, the CGI baby was distracting. Many times. There were times where it was like, okay, that looks decent. But especially towards the third act, I was like, wow, this baby's got some really big anime-looking eyes. Just like, oh man, that CGI baby looks rough. It really did. At times I was watching it going, yikes, this CGI baby looks rough, you know. But I loved the third act. I loved that that the only way that they were able to defeat Galactus was Sue Storm's mother-like strength. It was her just like, you let my child go, and she uses her powers to push him. Now I will say this though. A little bit of my problem with this, and again, I understand what they were going for, so it's more of a nitpick than a major issue, but a little nitpick of mine is like, she can do that this whole time. How come she just didn't do that beforehand? She didn't think to just go, oh, there he is, boom, you know, like, you would think that she could. You would think that if she could do that this whole time, then why not just do it then? But again, it's not. It's not a big issue. It's more of a nitpick on my part. That's more of a small little nitpick on my part. But I, yeah, I thought that third act was so good, and Sue Storm does die. Sue Storm does die, and I like the fact that it's like, oh wow. I'm now obviously because it's the MCU, you know they're gonna bring her back. You know they're not gonna kill her. Plus she's in Doomsday. We all knew she wasn't gonna die. But what I really, really loved was that they used this moment to display a little bit of Franklin Richards' power. And that he was able to bring her back to life. Which is a nice segue to the mid-credits scene. So the movie ends, you get the credits, and then we get the mid-credits scene. Picks up 4 years later. Sue is reading Franklin a bedtime story, and she goes and she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get another book for him." So she gets the book, and she's coming back. All of a sudden, she hears a little bit of something in the living room area, and she's like, she gets her powers ready to attack whatever's there, and then the camera pans over, and we see Doctor Doom from behind looking at Franklin Richards with his mask off, and Franklin Richards is reaching out to Doctor Doom. And that theater, the first time I saw it, went nuts. In fact, I was sitting with Michael, and Michael straight up yelled, "Doom!" And that was awesome. That was so awesome. Now, Matt Shakman says that was Robert Downey Jr. in the suit. I've heard people say otherwise, but I'm going with what the director. I'm honest. I'm not gonna lie. I'm deciding to go with what the director said. If the director says that was Robert Downey Jr. in the costume, then that's Robert Downey Jr. in the costume, and that's awesome. But seeing Doctor Doom there, we now know what he's after. He's coming for Franklin Richards, and it looks like Franklin Richards is going to play that role that. Who's the MCU character that plays such a huge role in the Hickman Secret Wars run? Is it Molecule Man? Molecule Man or Beyond or Beyonder? I can't remember who plays such a pivotal, like, basically who serves as the MacGuffin in that film. I want to say it's Molecule Man, but I might be wrong on that. Let's just say it's Molecule Man for argument's sake. Let's just say it's Molecule Man. I like the fact that Franklin Richards is going to play that role. The fact that that's who Doom's after, and his grand plan to, I don't know, save the multiverse, take over the multiverse. I don't know what his plan is. We won't know until we see the movie. But whatever his plan is, it involves Franklin Richards and it involves his powers, and I like that. I think that's so awesome. Now, I will say this, another one of my issues, I didn't like the second post-credit scene. I've seen the movie twice, and I saw the post-credit scene twice, and if I ever go see this movie again, I ain't sticking around for the second post-credit scene. After that first mid-credit scene, I'm getting up and I'm walking out. I just thought it wasn't, I didn't think it was clever, I didn't think it was fun, I'm not gonna lie, I just thought it was boring. I really did. And you know what? It's a lot like the Superman stuff. Like the mid-credit scene of Superman, I'm one of the only people in the world that thought the mid-credit scene of Superman was cute. Seeing Superman sitting up on that moon with Krypto and Krypto hugging him, I thought that was cute and adorable. A lot of people were like, "There's no purpose to it." I thought it was cute and adorable. The second post-credit scene of Superman, I thought was an absolute waste of time. Um, and so I really like the mid, and that's the same with Fantastic Four. I love the mid-credit scene, but I didn't really like the second post-credit scene. But that's just me. Overall, guys, this I think is just a great film. This is great. Again, I do think Thunderbolts is a better movie, but you have to understand Thunderbolts for me is a very personal movie for me. If you want to know why, go watch my spoilers discussion on Thunderbolts. I talk a lot about why that is in that review, but I really loved Fantastic Four: First Steps. I thought it was great. Some people have asked me do I know where it ranks in the MCU, and I actually do. I do know exactly where it ranks. Now, I am gonna post my rankings. I have it on Letterboxd, so if you guys aren't following me on Letterboxd, just add me on Letterboxd. It's here. Let me bring up my. It's just. Can you guys see that? I don't think you guys can see that. I don't think you guys can see that. No, it's a little too bright, but it's Zeke the Geek. You guys can find me on Letterboxd at Zeke the Geek. Just add me there, and you guys can see my full rankings of the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. Fantastic Four: First Steps is actually between the first and second Black Panther film. It's at my number 15 spot. The films I have in between the films that it's in between are Black Panther: Wakanda Forever at number 16 and the first Black Panther at number 14. So, and Thunderbolts, I don't think I gave this update in my Thunderbolts spoilers discussion, but my Thunderbolts spoilers discussion, but my Thunderbolts is number 5 for me. It's in my top 10. It's in my top 5, actually, of the MCU films. So, I really loved Thunderbolts. I thought it was fantastic. And I look, Fantastic Four is great as well. And I think if you guys have not seen Fantastic Four, and I don't know why you're watching this if you haven't seen Fantastic Four, but if you haven't seen Fantastic Four, go watch Fantastic Four. Go see it again. If you have seen Fantastic Four, go see it again. It's great, and I loved it. And I can't wait to watch it again. I just can't wait to watch it again. But that will do it for this video, guys. Now, a lot of people have asked me, Zeke, you said you were going to review the Marvels and Deadpool and Wolverine before Fantastic Four, and Fantastic Four is already out. Yes, I know. But I just got real busy and I couldn't do it before then. But I am still going to review the Marvels, and I still am going to review Deadpool and Wolverine. Just give me some time. Give me some time. I'm trying to relax a little bit, you guys, to be honest with you. I've been really busy this past year. The first 6 months of the year have been nothing but extreme busyness for me. And so it is a little tough for me right now as far as like getting reviews out there for you guys. But trust me, I'm gonna do my review for the Marvels and for Deadpool Wolverine. They're coming. I promise you, they're coming. And I think after I review Deadpool Wolverine, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until probably June or July of next year, so that I could do my rewatch review for Brave New World, Thunderbolts, and Fantastic Four. I'm going to give it a year. I'm going to give all these movies a full year so that I could really think about how I feel about them a year later. But I will do my rewatch of those I am going to do a rewatch review of those as well. And it will be perfect because I'll be doing those three right before Avengers Doomsday or at least with Thunderbolts and Brave New World, I'll be doing it right before Spider-Man Brand New Day comes out. But with with Fantastic Four, I think I'm going to do that right before Doomsday comes out in December of next year. So look out for that, guys. That will be nice. And then I believe there's another update on the YouTube channel that I want to share. I'm trying to think about what it is. I thought I had it, but I don't think I have it. I will say this. Next month, on August 11th, will be the 10-year anniversary of Zeke Said So, the YouTube channel. Been on YouTube for 10 years now, and I can't wait for that. I'm going to be doing a full video, kind of thanking you guys, and just and I'm going to do a special edition of the podcast. I'm going to be doing a special, probably 2-hour Zeke Said So show. I'll probably do that by myself. Just because I want to be more open with you guys, and I want to really just get a lot out there. And I think we're gonna rewatch some of my old videos and kind of go through and rewatch some of those, and that will be fun. That'll be fun for you guys to see. But yeah, that's all gonna happen. I might record that next Monday or Tuesday, and then it will go up on August 11th. So tune in for that, guys. A lot of cool stuff coming down the pike. That will do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Did you guys see Fantastic Four? What did you think of Fantastic Four First Steps? Let me know what you think. And that will do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys like the video, please make sure you leave a thumbs up and subscribe. Anything else, subscribe to the channel, because Zeke the Geek said so. And I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.